What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
Mike.
And I'm Brock, and tonight we're talking about two guys who had gimmick changes. We have Dynamo, the former, why am I drawing a blank? I just talked
Mr.
about him,
Galaxy.
Mr. Galaxy, and Gemini, the former Vlad Hammer. So these guys even feuded before, I believe.
Yep. Let's start off with the Gemini.
Gemini, seer of the future. Got some tarot cards there. Come on, there we go. There's a good focus picture of it. So he became
Not
more of a tag guy.
yeah, well, he was a tag guy to start off with. He's always been kind of a tag guy.
Yeah, but he's got greatly improved tag stats, I think.
Because Vlad Hammer and or were they, the Young Allies?
Mm-hmm.
And as Gemini, he did as much as Gemini for me as he did with Vlad Hammer, which was nothing.
Nothing. Actually, his stats went down in both singles and
Yeah.
tag, so he
And
just has a tag finisher now.
I always found it weird that he came from amateur wrestling, but Tom made him a tag guy. There's no tag in amateur wrestling.
Well, maybe there is in the future. Imagine how fun that would be, though, like tag team amateur wrestling.
Some guy's trying to put you in.
It's re where would you install the tag rope?
It's a circular ring. I don't know.
Have it draw a circle on the ground and you have to stand in it.
You have a tag rope. But yeah, this was another I think of Tom's forays into the mystical arts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this card ends up tagging with Mesmer.
Yep.
I mean, there's only so much you can do with a guy like Vlad Hammer anyway, so it's kind of cool that he kept the character around but just changed him completely.
Yeah, like I said, I was a big fan of Vlad Hammer, and then I was just he's and I've said this before. He's what I hoped Kurt Angle was.
Yeah.
Even a Brad Reagans. Come on.
Yeah.
And then to see, what happened to him, it was disappointing. And then as Gemini, I just couldn't get behind this character.
Yeah. He was Gemini for a while too. He was
Yeah.
Gemini from 2097 to 2104. He becomes Hammer again, I guess. Drops his first name.
Yeah. Now when we get to that one, I got good things to talk about that one. But as Gemini, I just
I
even the
never
draw.
got into him. I was a Mesmer fan, but I just didn't. I just thought like this was like Mesmer light. It wasn't as cool.
Yeah, I don't even think I paired him up with Mesmer. He was feuding the likes of like Astro Turk and Zouave and Genghis
Okay.
Khan.
Yeah, he was a tag team called Sign of the Zodiac with Mesmer in 2097 when this card debuted. Only that
Yeah.
year though. And then he started teaming with Ram after that.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that. They were another Zodiac team, I think, or something like that.
12th house.
Yeah.
And then he went back to Mesmer. And then he stayed with him until he became Hammer again. And then he was teaming with Powerhouse. But that's another card, so we'll talk about that another time.
It's one of these things where I think I'd have to ask Tom, because I think Tom even he wanted the guy in but didn't know what to do with him, so he just bounced him around.
It makes sense. I mean, that's what happens in the real world of wrestling.
Yep.
You like a guy, you like their work ethic or whatever. You
He's
know
the
the
Dolph
character's
Ziggler.
cool. Yeah, exactly. Look how many gimmick changes he's gone through. He's been a cheerleader, a rock star, an amateur guy. So yeah, I do like whenever like the same character just kind of hangs around instead of just going away because there's nothing to do with them.
Yep. And the art, I wasn't a big fan of that art.
Doesn't look like the same guy because Vlad Hammer was like a real thick like wrestler build. This guy's kind of tall and lean.
And it's two different styles, but Larry even tried to make him look evil. He's got the eyes darkened and
Hmm.
hair slicked back.
Yeah, but he's a seer of the future.
Yeah.
Wonder what he saw. Yeah, his defense is pretty good. He's got a lot of tags, but his offense is pretty weak.
And his finisher,
Sign of the Zodiac,
it's a
plus
plus
two.
two tag.
Yep,
Yeah. And he's got no singles finisher, right? Just a plus two tag.
yep. He's got the dreaded C rating on Out of the Ring, so he probably got counted out a lot, especially then.
Um, how would you power creep Gemini?
I would give him a singles finisher.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's obvious on here that you could update. Like he's got a level 2 move at the number 1 spot on level 3. Um, yeah. And then he's only got one level 3 move on level 2 offense as well.
I might make his number 5 spot on level 2 a down 3.
Yeah, that would help him out a lot. His level 1 defense isn't bad. It's got an agility check on the level 3 move at number 6, but he's got a -2 agility, so that's more often than not going to work. So that's not bad. Yeah, I'll just throw a singles finisher on there. That'll toughen him up significantly.
It probably will as well.
Just have to get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Get him to level 3.
Okay, and we can pop over to the Dynamo.
Dynamo.
Now I did like this art.
This looks like Mr. Galaxy, drawn by a different artist.
Yeah.
He got bigger.
His waist got really thin though.
Well, he's a bodybuilder. That's what they look like. So it's accurate, I guess. Come on, why won't he focus?
He's focused. He's pretty focused.
He's getting there.
But
There
this
we
is
go.
another what Tom said. Larry was doing the pencil shadings.
I like it.
Yep.
A lot of times it comes across as unfinished looking, but these don't. I like it. Unfortunately, this is our last Larry Snelly set.
Yep.
Can't wait to talk about the Gustovich art.
I'm so forward to that. But the art's not bad. With this Dynamo, I think it was an upgrade from Mr. Galaxy.
A slight one, not much of one,
No,
but I mean his level 2 defense, he's got 3 comebacks as well as level 1, so he's pretty tough to, he's
he's
got a
another
solid
tag.
defense. Yeah, he's got a lot of tags, 4 total on his card. They have it separated on his level 3, so he's got the down tag and a down leave. So there's 2, instead of having to choose which one you want to try and do.
And what's his finisher? It's
He's got the Muscle Ripper singles finisher and
yeah,
then the
plus
Elongation
one tag.
tag finisher, which is a +1.
Yeah, which I thought was weird. A +1 tag finish.
Yeah, well, his biggest issues I think are going to come on the charts. He's got a C in ropes and turnbuckle.
Yeah, I see ropes will kill you every time.
Mm-hmm. Because that comes up a lot. So does turnbuckle.
Yeah, I'd almost rather have a C ring than a C ropes
Yeah,
because a C ropes a lot of times will come up more because people will have the choice A plus
Mm-hmm.
and Into the Ropes. And Into the Ropes is found on level 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it comes up often. It's got a -3 power, +3 agility. So he's pretty strong.
I'm pretty slow.
Yeah, because he's got a big splash 3 at number 6 on level 1, but it's followed by an agility check, so he probably very rarely hits that. Unless he's fighting another big muscle head guy.
Yeah. This is fighting Man Mountain or
Yeah, +3, that's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
trying to think of who even had a +3 or +4 agility back then other than Psycho.
Yeah, the big fat guys.
But for me, as Dynamo, I don't think he did anything. As Mr. Galaxy, he was a 3-time Galaxian champ, so my lower tier belt.
Okay.
But as Dynamo, yeah, he hasn't done anything.
Who did he came in teaming with Chopper. Yeah, Chopper
Problematic.
Matic. And they teamed for a long time.
In that game, in mine, I kept Stud City around.
Yeah, Vanity, he retired not long after this card debuted.
Yeah, I think I kept Vanity around for another year or two because I liked him.
Vanity's cool. He's that good lower level heel that you kind of end up rooting for.
Yeah, just looking at the card here. Now, Dynamo is still wrestling for me. The same as Gemini. Well, same as Gemini, but he becomes Hammer.
hmm
Dynamo is wrestling in the my CPC, so my lower tier Fed, and currently he's a face.
Ooh,
He turned heel with Dreadnought. So, well, he turned face with Dreadnought, and so I had them. I had him. Dreadnought had been, a good guy earlier.
hmm
He was in a match with Dynamo, and I had somebody else, another tag team, come in. I think it was uh, uh, team of Man of Power because I ignored the whole chaos thing because I needed cards back then. Those Man of Power and Turbo, the
Okay,
Stevens card.
have him floating
Make
around
it want to
here.
make more of a name for themselves, and so they jumped the two of them. Just beat them both up and throw them out, and
hmm
they ended up teaming up together against those two for a little bit. So I turned them face, and then they ended up with forming a group with Killer Queen and Exo King or King
Okay,
Lear. So that's just what he's doing right now.
that's cool.
And I know I got changes. He's gonna be coming up. He's gonna turn heel again because I don't like him as a face.
Yeah.
But he's gonna team up with the guy from the GWFZ who looks like a porn star as well.
All
So
right.
can't remember his name.
There's probably a few.
Yeah,
You do a whole stable.
but it almost looks like the original Mr. Galaxy.
Uh-huh. I did look through my GWFZ cards again. There's some fun stuff in there.
There is. I got them all separated into 4, 3, 2, 1. I think there's a couple 4 guys which I'll never use because I don't like the GWFG guys to take over. But a lot of
hmm
3, 2, and 1 guys I have plan on using
Yeah,
because it's just a little bit.
that's something I'd like to see keep going, but I understand how much of an undertaking that probably had to be dealing with that many people.
Oh yeah,
So hats off to those guys for keeping it running as long as they did.
yeah. I bought all those and I thought they were a good set, but don't
Yeah,
want to don't want to
hundreds
stray
of
too.
cards.
Oh yeah, don't want to stray too far from the Dynamo.
No.
And I know he was probably lost in your shuffle.
Not as much as most, because I always was a Mr. Galaxy fan.
That's good.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what he did because my record keeping is not as good as probably anybody. So it might be the worst.
But yeah, he said he's done okay. He's gonna, he'll probably retire with just those three, Galaxian titles.
Hmm.
Can't see him. He may capture another lower tier belt in the CPC because that's what the CPC is based for. But I don't see much of it. Him and his new tag partner might get a shot at the Milky Way. I can see because that's the low tier tag team.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't see him. Don't see him getting much more, and he'll probably just retire as those three, and you know.
Yeah, that would get him into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, you were a three-time European champion. You're in the Hall of Fame.
He appeared at a Battle Royal at WrestleMania, Hall of Fame.
And how would you upgrade him?
So there's a couple things I'm kind of torn on here. I think the +1 tag finisher is a little, little low, but those C and ropes and turnbuckle,
Yeah,
they come up so often. I'd drop one of those to a B or maybe even an A because he's got Bs for ring and death jump. So I think he could have one A on his card
it'd probably be turnbuckle. That would make the most sense.
as a strong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make the most sense. Like if you're pushing a guy that big and powerful into the turnbuckle, he could probably fight his way up fairly easily. So yeah, I'll do turnbuckle. I'll give him an A in turnbuckle.
If you're doing that, I'll give him I'll bump him up to the average for a tag finisher and make it a +3 tag finisher.
Okay. What is elongation? Did they say in here? Combination. One applies headlock, the other pulls the opponent from the outside. It's just like stretch a guy out, literally.
I, how does that work? Like it's not cheating.
Yeah, one applies a headlock, the other pulls the opponent from outside the ring.
I don't get that finisher, but
They're trying to pull his head off.
oh yeah, but if one guy's outside the ring, it's a double team maneuver where the ref just goes, "Yeah, looks legit."
I'll look the other way. You have the tag rope, you're good.
Just don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, I get you got to try and come up with a move for 100, probably 100 characters at this point.
Oh yeah,
There's only so many things that really make sense, I guess.
I don't even remember what I made it because usually what I'll do is I'll just take somebody else's tag finish.
Hmm.
So knowing me, it probably fell back into the a version of the heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Just a weaker version.
I could see like a crossface combined with a Boston Crab. That would stretch it, that would elongate somebody potentially.
Or it might have been he throws him off the ropes and Chopper clotheslined him,
Hmm.
or he threw him into Chopper. So something very similar that I probably did.
This should have a disqualification attached to it, this move.
Oh yeah.
It's like the tarantula. It's Jerry's tarantula.
Well, we can hit our topic.
Yeah, we're kind of current with our episodes here. So
Yeah,
we just watched SummerSlam this weekend.
we used up our backlog.
We
Between,
did, we did between traveling and kids driving me nuts.
we got nothing in the tank, so we're
Nothing in the
live week to
tank.
week now.
Hmm. So we're gonna be more current events.
So we both watched SummerSlam last night.
Hmm.
I tuned in as the Ricochet Jake Paul match was going on.
That was the opener, so you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I missed about 5 minutes of it. I knew Jake Paul was going to win because he's got the bigger following, and
Yeah. Still, it elevated Ricochet, I think, to be in there with Logan Paul. So
Logan Paul. That's right. Yeah, Logan Paul is
he
too.
got on it. He got on an airplane to go watch Jake Paul fight later that night. That's why
And
they went on first.
um, when I watch it, I've seen Ricochet wrestle so many times.
Hmm.
As Puma and
Yeah.
as Ricochet,
Hmm.
phenomenal. Loved. He's to me, he's one of the best wrestlers out there. And to watch him in the WF constantly get jobbed out.
Hmm.
Even when he was their US champ,
Yeah.
I don't think he won a match.
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, he's really good. I think this was the best Logan Paul match.
Oh
It
yeah,
didn't have that viral spot that he always has. Like just goes, it goes everywhere, like it's some big over the top spot. But I think from start to finish as a match, this is the best one he's had yet.
and they actually told a good story. Like he's
Hmm.
using other people's finishers. And,
Working on the arm.
yeah,
Yeah, it was.
working on the midsection, and he was
Hmm.
working body parts. He had it going on.
Yeah, he's the guy's had less than 10 matches, and these are the kind of matches he's having. It's you got to give it to the guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. And but he's working his ass off, like behind the
Oh
scenes.
yeah.
It's not like he's
Hmm.
at
And
home
he's
doing.
had high quality opponents too.
Yeah,
That makes a world of difference as well.
and they're helping him out.
Hmm.
Like
For sure.
he's getting a lot of help. So he's doing well. Like
Hmm.
as people who and I've seen guys. You see guys, excuse me, famous people come in, and you know that they're always going to go over, which
Yeah.
irritates me to no end
This was his first win.
because they always try to push wrestlers as a big bad tough guys, and
Hmm.
yet they're always beating wrestlers are always being jobbed out to celebrities,
Hmm.
which is so stupid.
That's what they do.
And for me, the two best guys celebrities I ever saw in the match were Carl Malone and Kevin Green.
Kevin Green was into it.
Yeah, and so was Malone.
Yeah. Kevin Green hung around a while too, till the Horseman turned on him, which everybody saw coming a mile away except for Kevin Green.
But but the match, I actually I enjoyed the match all the way through.
Hmm. Yeah, it was. I think it was his best match yet,
Yeah.
and I'm all right with him winning because he hasn't won yet. So
And then who did we have next? We had
it was Brock and Cody.
Brock and Cody,
I thought
and
that was a good match.
I knew Cody was going to win. That was
Yeah,
my
he had to.
because Brock's on his way out. And,
Hmm. I guess
the,
the
the,
post match stuff where he shook hands with him and stuff was unscripted.
oh really?
Brock just decided to do that. At least that's what they said on the press conference.
Well, when you've been around 20 plus years, you can call your own shots.
Hmm. Who's gonna yell at him?
Yeah, you're an 8-time world champion. You can do it.
Yeah, he's earned that. Hmm. But I thought that
And
was a good match. They told a story as well.
yep, and it allows Brock to leave as a good guy.
So when they bring him back, they could do whatever with him.
Yep. Yeah. No, I liked how Brock came out just as the Beast incarnate. Just beat the crap out of him, and
Hmm.
Cody slowly built up the offense to come back.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep.
Next was the Battle Royal. I don't think anybody was surprised that LA Knight won that. I feel like they threw
Oh
that on the card just so he could win it.
yeah.
And they got Slim Jim said, "Hey, we'll sponsor a match. Okay, we got this LA Knight guy. We're gonna get over." I'm not a fan. I don't get it.
I like LA Knight. I've listened to him on different. He was actually on the Arn Anderson podcast. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think if it was Arn Anderson. Might probably could have been Jericho's.
Okay.
I only listen to so many different podcasts.
Hmm.
And, they were talking on how they got, you know, it just made you like the guy. Like he was really down to earth, and
Yeah.
he was on there with I think it was Paul Heyman, and they were all talking about, on how he broke in, and his whole thing. So it made you kind of like the guy, but
Hmm.
you knew he's going to be their next big push guy,
Hmm.
and so it was like, yeah, he's going to win.
Yeah. I was just glad it wasn't Omos whenever he returned. I like him as a big guy. I think he's better than most, but I'm
He
just
did
so tired
exactly
of
what
it.
a big guy's supposed to do. You come
Clear the
in,
ring.
throw a bunch of guys out, clear the ring out, make yourself look tough, have
Hmm.
every guy throw you out so you still look good,
Hmm.
and then you don't win, but every guy in the world threw you out.
Yeah. And I think he's pretty good. I like seeing him. I think he could use a face run because I think he's got that kind face. And whenever you see all like the community stuff that he does, like in Africa and stuff, like, I mean, see him becoming like a big baby face. But what do you do with a baby face giant? I guess Andre did it forever. So
Yeah.
there is success to be had there. I just argued myself out of my own argument.
Then we had Baszler and Rousey
I thought this was good.
for the type of match that they wanted to make it, like a UFC style match.
Hmm.
I think they did a decent job at it. I know so many people hate Ronda Rousey and get on her, but
I think this is probably her best match. She's in her element.
yeah.
Some of those shots they laid in
Oh,
look brutal. That knee to the face.
and I think the boot, Baszler's boot to the head on Rousey,
Hmm.
that looked pretty solid too.
Yeah, they weren't barefoot.
And Rousey had even admitted she's leaving, so you knew
Yeah,
Baszler was going over.
right person went over.
Yep.
And the build up to this match is really good. They only gave it a few weeks to build, but Shayna Baszler, like, I'm like, yeah, I would be mad too. Screw her, like. So they did a good job, but she was crying and stuff. Like she never really showed any kind of emotion before.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, I thought that was good.
it was good. I like I said, for what it was, I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
We had Gunther and Drew McIntyre.
I
You
I
knew
like
Gunther was
Gunther.
going over because they're gonna have him break Honky's record, so everyone knew that.
I'm so annoyed by that because look at all the records they're breaking at the same time. They broke the New Day's record for tag team title, which they just broke from Demolition. Then Bianca's the longest reigning women's champion, other than Moolah in history. Um, what they're doing with Roman,
Oh,
and then
but they broke. They keep saying modern record
hmm
because he's what? Nobody's going to catch Bruno at
no,
7.5
no,
years
it's
or
like
something like that. Hogan's runs like 4.25
he's
years.
closing in on Hogan.
Yeah, we still got a year and a half to go for Hogan.
Yeah, but I think he'll do it. I really do. I think that's the one they want to beat. You're never going to catch Backlund or Bruno,
No,
but I think Hogan's obtainable.
yeah, because actually, yeah, because how long was Bruno, like
It was like
11 years?
8 years.
Or yeah, it was up there.
I'll look. I'll see if I can find it while we talk.
And so now, of course, I'm watching the match and I'm looking at their chests, and their chests are just beat to red.
Hmm.
And I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like,
Because that's what people expect now from those two.
like they're just chopping. It's like Wahoo McDaniel all over. Just, I'm just gonna make sure that the chest is beat red. I didn't get that back then. You know, chops are a couple of them are good, but they're hitting with impact.
Right. Oh yeah. That's hurt. There's no way around it. That hurts. It hurts bad.
Like it made me laugh. So when I was watching the Impact Wrestling at the um uh Hall of Fame show, a
Hmm.
couple times they're telling the crowd to be quiet and then they chop and there's
Yeah.
hardly any noise because they don't know how to make, hit hard enough to make a pop sound on somebody.
Hmm.
And they're not hitting hard enough. And it was like, don't do that then. If you don't know how to make a loud chop, don't call for the audience.
Yeah.
Don't,
Just
because
let
that's
it
what the
happen.
Giant used to do.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, everybody quiet, slam.
That had to hurt getting chopped by him, though. All right, so I was wrong. Hogan's ahead of Backlund by 4 days. Bob Backlund's is 1470. Hogan's is 1474. Bruno's shorter title reign was 1237. So that'll be his next one. And then Bruno's longest reign is 2,803 days.
Yeah.
So he's not even halfway there to that one. But I can see him passing. I think they're gonna have him pass Hogan. I don't know though. He'd have to hold it through at least another Mania.
It's gonna be tough. But Gunther, I can see Gunther losing the belt soon afterwards.
Yeah, because I can see them throwing him in the world title picture
Yep.
because he's ready, I think. Look at the transformation that guy had during the pandemic. I mean, he looked like me at the start of it, and now look at him now.
And then we can move on to Seth and Finn.
This was dumb.
Yeah.
They completely chumped out Finn Balor. Is it what now 4 times he's lost to Seth Rollins?
Yeah, something like that.
And all the shenanigans, like three other people thrown into the mix, and they still can't beat him.
Because you want to pin him fairly or something.
I don't know I want to watch tonight and see what the story was, but I don't get it. It was dumb. And then they I guess they don't want to do the bloodline story with the Judgment Day where it's like, oh, is Damian Priest going to turn on Balor as champion with the briefcase? But I don't know. I guess they wouldn't want that too, but it just seems silly. Like what was the intent? Like why wouldn't he just take the briefcase and hit him with it after you've already cheated a dozen times by that point?
I don't get that, but
Damian Priest's face at the end when he's just like, I saw a meme today that said, "My face through the entire broadcast of SummerSlam 2023." It was just that face.
come on, bro. Really?
I thought it started out good. It was good up until this match. The battle royal was kind of lame, but it's a battle royal. But I thought everything up to this match was pretty good, and this match was fine too until the ending.
Yeah.
They put on a good match. It was just the ending made no sense because they could have gotten so much drama out of like Finn having the title and Priest having the case. Now what do you do with Balor? He just looks like an idiot.
Uh, Balor's out.
Yeah, you think they turn him face?
Yep.
Maybe he'll start his own group with that JD McDonough guy. It's like his mini me.
And then next we have Bianca Belair, Charlotte, and Asuka.
I like this.
Asuka.
This was decent.
I hate Bianca Belair.
Really?
I do not like her.
She had like a 30-second title reign, if that makes you feel any better.
That made me feel so much better when she lost it. When they went out for Money in the Bank, I'm like, oh, she better lose it because she can barely, the storyline, she can barely walk.
Uh-huh. They did a good job with that too, where she just handed the case to Bailey and she just started laying everybody out at ringside. That was good because that way it's like, oh well, like why would Charlotte or Asuka try and interfere though? Like they were just got beat up by like
Yep.
why would they care? But it was great that they got taken out with the briefcase and then Io's over though.
Yeah,
Like
the
even
fans were
before
happy
she
to
won
see
the
her.
case.
Yeah, the fans were happy to see her win.
Hmm.
So it goes to show that the fans, I think, are even over Bianca right now.
Yeah, I mean, because she had that title for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And the way they've been presenting her, like she's just kind of been whiny since she lost it. So I don't know. I like her. Think she's a good athlete and everything. And
Oh, I'm not taking away any skill. I've never liked her character or
hmm
anything.
that's a heel character
Yeah,
through and through. That is a 100% heel character. But other than briefly in NXT, it's always been a good guy.
it's what they wanted Kurt Angle to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, love me, love me. Boo.
Yeah. Maybe she'll join her husband in this new Hurt business they're putting together. I always am annoyed that these big groups, other than Judgment Day, they never seem to have a female member. Like there's so many female members they could have put in the bloodline,
Yeah,
but they never did, and now it's pretty much done. And I mean, this one, would have been a no-brainer. Like throw her with her husband and see how that goes.
and then the final of Roman versus Jey Uso.
In tribal combat, I called it last week that Jimmy was going to turn, and it makes absolutely no sense.
No.
Because he's the one who started all of it. He's the one who turned on Roman. He's the one who attacked him cost him the tag titles.
and and you have now you watch the match, you're like, okay, the Usos are like 6-time WF tag champs or something like that.
Hmm.
They're not instantly going to become world champions.
Right.
It's like when Road Warrior Hawk fought Ric Flair.
Hmm.
I'm watching the match. I'm like, oh, Hawk, Hawk, he was dominating Flair. And my buddy Craig goes, they're not going to make Hawk world champion. Yeah, you're right.
I I think the story would have been great if Jay were to win it, especially if he cheated to do it.
Yeah.
Like if Jimmy would have helped Jay win, which would have made sense. But like, I don't know where you go from here. So we just have to ride it out till Mania next year, and Cody wins the Royal Rumble again and moves over to SmackDown to challenge for it. That's what it feels like we're gonna get already, especially because that documentary released this week, and they
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about how he didn't finish the story.
Cody's going to get the world title. That's just a given. But it's which world title is he going to get?
I think the new one that they just introduced doesn't carry the same weight. That's not the title Dusty didn't win because that's a new title.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
See,
I think he has to win the one Roman has.
but then you're saying they're going to make Roman Hogan level. So what's he going to be?
I don't know. I don't know where you go from here. I really don't. I didn't expect Jay.
According to Paul Heyman, if this were a baseball game, they're in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, there is a lot you can still. There's a lot of Anawahi guys out there that they could do stuff with.
Everybody's waiting for The Rock to come back.
If Rock beats him and ends this title reign, I'm gonna be pissed.
I can't see Rock beating him because he'd have to defend the title.
Hmm.
You can't do that. But I can see him coming and helping someone.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I
Yeah.
just don't want Rock. If Rock ends this title reign, I'll be mad because whoever ends this reign is a made man. Like they are set for life as the guy who ended the greatest title reign of the past, 30 years or whatever it ends up being. They'll be made. Their career is made. They could go back to that every time. Like poor Baron Corbin's been saying, I was the last guy to pin Roman Reigns, but then Jay did it in that tag match a couple months ago. He's been running on that for 2 years. I just don't know what you do now. So why do you think they're going to have Jay? Now this is going to come out after he explains himself, probably, but why? What do you think the story is going to be there?
I don't know because I rarely watch wrestling.
Okay.
Um, I I think they may, like, personally want to do some single stuff.
Hmm.
That's why it's happening.
Well, it's going to be a Survivor Series, Jimmy versus Jay, I
Yeah,
would predict.
because that's the next pay-per-view, isn't it?
The next big one.
The next big one.
Yeah. We have Fastlane here in Pittsburgh in a few weeks.
Might as well have it in your house.
Yeah, I know, right? We've had a SummerSlam and we've had a Royal Rumble, but the rest have all kind of been the throwaway ones. And King of the Ring back when it was one of the important ones.
Yeah, Toronto's. We've had 2 WrestleManias, but
Hmm. You got the Sky Dome.
it was the Sky Dome for WrestleMania 6 and Rogers Scotiabank Arena for WrestleMania 18.
Hmm. Maven was on that card. I was watching the thing. He put a YouTube. He has a YouTube channel now. And he explained his WrestleMania payday and stuff, and it was kind of interesting how much money they get for WrestleMania.
How much did he get?
I forget what it was, but it was part of his biggest year. He only wrestled for 4 years, and in one of those 4 years, he made $430,000, and that was the year he did Mania.
Oh, there you go.
He said a large percentage. I think he said 30,000 just for Mania.
Yeah, parts of the gate and stuff.
Hmm.
But we should wrap this up before we start sounding like a roll-up episode.
Yeah, we're still under an hour.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you just saw or listened to, give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you have not yet, hit the subscribe button. Please do that. That helps us get discovered here on YouTube. And while you're here, scroll on down to the description. You'll find a lot of stuff we've referenced already, including the official Filsinger Games podcast roll up, the Legends team's Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Lamprey, the Filsinger Games fan cast from Grant here on YouTube. You also have Grant's solo promoter. He puts stuff up quite often, all good. Check that out. Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling. He streams live 2 or 3 times a week now, I think. He's really been ramping it up. He's got some fun stuff going on there. Check that out. And then we have After Further Review. On Twitch, you'll find myself. I stream multiple days a week, but I do Champions of the Galaxy Sunday night. I run a bootleg fed called Next Dimension Wrestling. And then you'll see Matthew Butcher's Tagger Strike Painting. He does live painting on Twitch. And I think that covers everything. So yeah, until next time, have a great week, everybody.
Okay, I got one thing I forgot. Today's my birthday.
Oh yeah.
My wife bought me this.
Ooh, the UCS land speeder. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I'll be building this bad boy in a
That's going to take you some time. How many pieces is that?
1,890 pieces.
Nice. There's going to be a lot of small ones too, I bet.
And I have some more builds. I have a TIE bomber and I have the Boschko helmet.
Who builds their Lego sets?
I know. I just like to keep them in the box.
You got to make it look like a Target stock room, like like my house. All right.
Okay.
Well, happy birthday, Mike.
Yeah.
Leave your happy birthday comments for Mike below. He's a lot older than me.
My two favorite birthday comments so far were from Grant Bachoco and Toily.
Nice.
I got a fantastic one. And then a buddy of mine, ex-MMA fighter and pro wrestler Geza Kelman, left another one on my Facebook profile. So if you're friends of mine, check those out on that because they're both absolutely hilarious.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, happy birthday. Hope you have a great year ahead and all your birthday wishes come true, which looks like one of them did. All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Night.